I'm very excited to have a conversation with the author of the book, The Crown You Carry. She is a debater, a public speaker who has represented Uganda at the House of Lords in London. She is passionate about STEM, and today we sit to have a conversation about her journey, writing, and her experience defining her world. It's an honor to have you on the show today.
Thank you.
Kindly greet us and introduce yourself to our viewer.
Hi everyone. So my name is Hermon Asmerom. I am a student, the author of The Crown You Carry. I am a public speaker, debater, just like David said earlier on.
All right, let's start from scratch. I'm passionate about writing as well, but I've not been able to write to the extent of having a book published. When does the idea hit you that besides the small notes we write, keeping up with our diaries, when did it hit you that I can really write a book to have it published?
I think the moment that it actually hit me was I was inspired by my dad, so he has a book as well. So I realized that people are actually investing now into literature and reading. And besides, the small notes and all that we do, the greatest thing that hit me to write the book was, you see, in life, very many people achieve so many things. Starting off from me, I had done debate, achieved a lot. But then it was now all about Hermon. Hermon achieved this. Hermon won best speaker, she won best debater, but it was never about any other person. So I realized if other people were to be empowered from it, I could write down a book, because you realize when you write a book, it's going to be passed on from one generation to the other. Exactly. So that
And
was
you can never tell how far it can go, because literally you never know who will quote you one time.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting. Let's go through the process of writing a book, because I've tried to I've been a part of a team that was helping write a book, and I know how stressful it can be most when it comes to, because for it was more of a biography, and it was really stressing in terms of collecting people's texts about the author. How was it for you? How was the process?
Oh, I think one word to describe it is it's hectic. Very hectic, especially when you're balancing two things, studies and as well as writing. I started the journey during my senior fall vacation, so I had to utilize that time and as well as the following year. But the whole entire process was sitting down and first compiling chapter by chapter. It has 10 chapters. So sitting down, reading different books, reaching out to the internet, trying to see videos about different ideas that people talked about, and now compiling it to one. But the hardest part of it is then having it published. Whole entire chapters, like the 10 chapters coming into one, and now you see your book is a living book, like not into different pieces. But yeah, I think simply that's the process.
All right, so the book was launched this year at Makerere University, at the School of Law, and it was a great event. Tell me about it for those who are not able to participate.
Oh, so the book launch actually happened at Makerere University, the School of Law, and this was in partnership with HURIPEC. So earlier on, during the course of the year, around January, I had been doing a fellowship with HURIPEC. That's how I got in touch with them. And when I shared the idea that, I'm launching a book and it's called The Crown You Carry, they were willing to, have it put out there to see that the whole event takes place under the organization and under the School of Law. So that's how it ended up there.
All right, so in chapter 7 of the book, you talk about leaving marks that cannot be erased. And it's exciting because at your age, you think about legacies and leading to transformative change from the word go. Let's just break down this for our viewer to understand. What is it so important about leaving a legacy? Because I've read something and someone said, do whatever you do, because once you leave this place, no one will care. What is the importance of legacy?
Well, to me, I feel legacy is what defines humanity. Because where we are right now, we are following those that were here before us. We're following their footsteps. We're trying to pick something from what they passed on to us from one generation to the other. So why that chapter specifically is very important to me is even writing the book means leaving a legacy for me, because one day we'll all become old and we'll pass on. but the book will always be there. So legacy, especially to the youth, is what are you leaving to the world? When someone says Hermon, what do they remember you for? Do they remember you for something good or for something bad? When they say David, what do they remember you? Definitely for this show, at least they will remember you. So that's the legacy. That's the brand that you're living. So I think, to me, that chapter is about leaving something that even if you're not around, people will always remember you when they say your name, and yeah, you've left an impact into someone's life generally.
Interesting. Now, still in the book, you talk about social media, which
Yes.
I feel is one of the things that is going to destroy or has destroyed very many people.
Sure.
There are so many campaigns about drugs, so many campaigns about eating healthy, living a healthy life, and very few conversations are set to talk about social media. And it's one thing that is really killing very many people, besides the cyberbullying, even when it comes to regulating self, when it comes to using social media. Kindly break down for my viewer, because I've had a chance to read about it, but help them understand how social media has great impact to the crown you carry.
So social media is one of the chapters within the book, and the whole idea as to why I wrote about it is you realize right now, the point where we are, everyone uses technology and social media, and especially apps like Instagram, TikTok, and all that. So what happens is that the youth are now more inclined into having lives that they don't actually live. Someone will go out there into social media and then post something about mental health. They'll put captions, they'll put tags and all that. But then behind the screen, they're actually the same people that are suffering from depression and anxiety.
Yes.
But they just want to portray a life that they're not. So in my book, I try to break it down because it's more like the pain beyond the screen. These are lives that we see. It's that one picture that someone will post and you feel like, oh, this person is actually having the best time of their life. Yet behind the scenes, they're struggling. They're doing several jobs in order to pay that bill. But you see that perfect life. So then it now goes on to comparison, like comparing yourself with that person. And in that whole entire path of comparing yourself, you lose who you are.
You lose the crown.
Exactly. And yet, in the end of the day, not everyone is destined for the same thing.
And again, they forget that what they see on social media is what we want them to see.
Exactly.
It's not the full story. There is always a longer story to it. There is always so much to it than the pictures, the lights, the glam, the nice body, the happy family. There's always very much to it.
Yeah, true.
Interesting. Now, I'm also excited to find out about relationships. You talk about relationships in the book, and that's where I'm like, I need to add some more sugar in my coffee while reading it just to keep awake. So in the book, you talk about relationships.
Sure.
And I find that's one of the most exciting part where you actually have to add some more sugar in the cup so that you don't doze. Let's talk about relationships in the regard of the crown you carry.
Well, in regards to the crown you carry, that chapter specifically talks about relationships and friendships. Because when you're on the path to discover who you are, the friends you have really determine how far you go.
Yes.
There is this quote that says, if you want to go far,
Go alone. If you want to go farther, go with friends.
Exactly, exactly. Thank you. So I realized that friends or the relationships you have could determine a lot on who you are. There are those friends that are going to push you to be the best version of yourself, and there are those that are going to pull you down because they don't want you to succeed. So in my book, I try to talk about what does a healthy relationship look like. It may not necessarily be, an intimate relationship with, a female gender or a male gender, but even with your friends, what type of relationship do you have? What type of friendship do you have? What do you do during your free time? If you have this friend group that you're gossiping most of the times, definitely that's what your head is going to be full of. Exactly, that's going to define you. But if you're in a group that, talks about different things, the politics that are, for example,
you were nominated.
Or things like
yes, you were nominated for the Go-Getters Excellence Awards happening in South Africa.
Everyone has, can I say, a throne that they are destined to be within. But if you don't realize that, then you won't even know that you have a crown and you're destined for something good. So yeah.
You were nominated.
Oh yes.
Yes, you were nominated for the Go-Getters Excellence Awards happening in South Africa. What does this mean? What does achievement mean to you?
Wow, that achievement means a lot to me, especially knowing that I'm competing with very many people. So
Continent-wise.
yes, continent-wise, global-wise,
Yes,
because
global-wise.
it's all over. And interesting thing, they reached out and told me I was the youngest contestant, because you realize the whole movement is about empowering women. So it's women that have lived more years than me specifically, so they have had more time to impact the world. But then I have been as well, nominated with them at this young age. So to me, it means that age doesn't define how good you are, doesn't define how much impact you can do into this world. So this award keeps on pushing me to my limit, that hey, like the good that I put into the world, someone benefits from it, someone sees it, so I should keep going. So yeah, I think it means a lot to me.
Congratulations, and we wish the very best for you.
Thank you so much.
Now, before we call it a show, if at all anyone would forget this conversation, what is that one thing they have to carry with them?
The one thing that someone should carry after this show is you are crowned and you're not broken. You're destined for greatness. So just take time, discover who you are, and there is a lot that the world can benefit from you. So let them just be who they are, discover who you are, and above all, you can read the book and discover more about yourself.
That's where we're heading. How can they get access to the book to get up to speed with what's in there?
So the hard copies, they can reach out to me and they can get it. If not, it's online via Amazon, Google stores, and Koki stores. So yeah, they can get it as well online.
All right, sure. Kindly share with us your digital contacts for those who really want to get in a deeper conversation with you.
Oh, okay. So my WhatsApp number is 07570438 and 63.
Strictly for business.
Yes, strictly for business.
Then social media handles.
On Instagram, it's HarryBlessed9, as well as on Twitter, on LinkedIn. Yeah, I think those are the only apps that I have.
Great.
Yeah.
It's been exciting having this conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, it's always an honor to sit down with young people leading to transformative change in their communities and being a part of their stories. When we sit to have these conversations, they're not just conversations or stories, but they're experiences lived. And maybe you can pick a thing or two. It's been exciting having your company on this particular episode. This is the 360 Exchange, and we're always happy to have your part of the show. Don't forget to follow, share, subscribe, comment. Yes, comment. It's very important. What have you learned from this particular episode? And don't forget to grab yourself the book, The Crown You Carry. Shout out to the team we've worked with. You've made this incredibly well. Till then, bye-bye.